Hey there, Dennis. How's it going?
Hey, what's going on, Thomas? Good to see you again.
Good to see you. Okay, so thank you for being today with me. We wanted to speak. I proposed to you like a couple of topics, and finally we decided we'll speak about how to grow an agency in the post-COVID era. But before we get started, if you can just introduce yourself. I mean, if you need introduction, actually, to the people watching us today.
So, Thomas, you guys probably know that we teach a lot of agencies. So maybe you've seen me on Social Media Examiner or Digital Marketer or the training we've done together with Fiverr, GoDaddy, Infusionsoft, all these other companies. We're a digital agency. I started by building the analytics at Yahoo just over 20 years ago. So I come at it from a data and a measurement and a performance standpoint. And we're here to help all these other agencies. And we've created lots of training. This is our new one that's coming out with Jake Paul, helping these kids do video. Really cool, right? Use your cell phone. That's what you got to do for your Google My Business and other outlets for your clients. And we do a lot of training, but 99% of our revenue comes from us actually executing. We make more money on the rev shares that we have with our agencies and with clients.
Okay, sounds perfect. Sounds interesting. If I actually may ask, you posted something like recently, I think on your LinkedIn, and you said that I am influential, but I'm not an influencer, and it was like a bit ranting. So, can you develop about this a little bit?
For anyone who has to self-declare that they're an influencer, I think that's kind of trashy. That's sort of self-serving. You're a sycophant. You're one of those sorts of people. That's like saying, look at my bank account. Look at my success. You don't need to say that if you're influential. Just like I say, you don't need to work on your personal brand. And people are like, what? But Gary Vaynerchuk says you should always work on your personal branding. Grant Cardone, he's always making videos all the time, you know? And I'll say, yes, your personal brand, you as an agency owner especially, your personal brand is the sum of what everyone else has to say about you. So what is your personal brand? When I Google you, Thomas, what do I see? Right? That's your personal brand. And if that's in conflict with what you say, then that's an issue. So if you do a really good job as an agency, you take care of your clients, then they're going to do all your branding, all your referral, all your influence for you. I happen to, as you guys may know, many years ago, make a lot of money on Facebook ads. So much that it caught Mark Zuckerberg's attention. And I was doing $80,000 a day, which is great, before Facebook had their true ads network in place. And because of the things that happened there, I eventually made it in front of CNN, and I had 3.5 million people watching me live as they were asking me questions about Mark Zuckerberg and Congress, and should we regulate Facebook like cigarettes, and is it addictive? And I answered those questions, but nowhere along the line did I need to say, I'm really good at Facebook ads. Because when George Howell, who's the anchor, interviewed, can you imagine, have you ever been in a TV studio? A lot of lights, it's very scary, right? Like your studio, it's very nice, but maybe there's more video cameras in that one. But you're there and you're thinking, oh my goodness, it's going to be live in front of millions of people. And by the way, if you're not speaking in front of millions of people, don't worry. If you're speaking in front of a client, you're doing a webinar, it's the same kind of thing. You might be thinking, my goodness, I need to tell everyone that I'm really, really good. You don't need to. The very fact that you're being interviewed by somebody else, the very fact that, you know, Instagram and us, we've created training together on how to do Instagram, that is enough. So the easiest way to mess things up as an agency owner is to feel that you need to somehow represent yourself like this. Otherwise, people are not willing to listen to you. The fact that you're listening to this, I don't need to say who I am, because you trust Thomas, you trust AdWorld Masters, and you'll see in our examples that we go through, you're like, oh wow, what this guy says makes a lot of sense. At least that's what I hope.
Definitely, it's more about what you do than what you say. I mean, that's about it in life, right? So if we go about growing an agency nowadays, and we were just speaking a little bit before the interview, actually, that there is some things have changed right now. There is a lot more about video, but networking has changed as well. And so, what's your take on after let's say 1 year, a bit more than 1 year, and this new mode of working? What's your take of what has changed, what is here to stay, and how to adapt if you did not yet?
So when COVID happened, I was at Digital Marketer headquarters we were recording a full day training in the studio. One of my favorite places to go. I fly into Austin, record all the training. If you guys are the Digital Marketer Certified Partner Program, you've seen our training in there. And it was that day that we had the announcement that everything got shut down. So we were in there the very last day of the office. After that, all of Texas shut down. And I thought, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? I thought maybe this COVID thing was going to be temporary for a few weeks. And then I saw this was continuing, and I had 12 conferences cancel on me, many of them that were international, because we've done a lot of public speaking. And I'm thinking, oh wow, here's all these cool countries I've never been to where I was going to go visit, and that got shut down. And I quickly realized how important it was to get on video. Because I was a conference speaker, I wrote books, I've done blogs, but I like most agency owners, I'm thinking, I don't want to get on video. I'm not a videographer. I'm not Jake Paul, right? I don't want to do this. I don't like how I look. I'm just better at, doing SEO and writing ads, and I don't want to be a YouTuber. I don't want to do a podcast. I'm not a vlogger. I don't have time for that. I just want to do PPC and landing pages and SEO and whatever it is, advertising. But I quickly discovered that even though I tried to avoid it, because I'm a search engine engineer, I'm not someone who wants to get on video and interview people and be a public figure and, oh, look at me, right? Look, I have a lot of people on my channel. I didn't want to be that. But then I realized, in order to deliver results for my clients, they needed video. And thus, they didn't understand video, and I didn't understand video. So I went to Amazon and I bought all this equipment like you see here, right? This is all in the last year. All the lights and whatever. I have no idea I still don't know how any of this works. Like here, I have this GoPro here that I use that I put up here, just out of view, right here. And if I'm drawing, I'm able to switch to another screen to show that, right? And I have this other equipment which you can't see, which is all around me here, all these different TVs and whatever. But I found that I needed to do that in order to collect video. So here, for example, my friend, let's see, I'll show you, look, this is my phone. Here's all these people that are messaging me. It's kind of hard for you to see. But here's, Zach Babcock, who's got a big podcast. He says, do you have 2 hours free on August 18th? Hey, Zach, for you, I would do that anytime. I would love to, right? And now you can see I've left a message here. You can see here that all these people have been messaging me on Instagram, for example. And by the way, you drag me kicking and screaming to go onto Instagram and Snapchat and TikTok and all this. But look, I have these different friends, and you can see that we're chatting here, but then I'm also going to reply with video. See, we can reply with video here instead of just the words. And text messaging with clients. So here's a client of mine who just said, here's a picture of his private jet. He just got a private jet with his name on the side. It's hard for you to see the picture, right? So we're going to get together in a week and film a podcast on his private jet to make video, right?
Nice.
So as I'm around here, I'll show you this one. Here, I'll show you the last year. This is something almost no agency owners are going to do. So if you look at my phone here and you look at my Amazon photos or Google photos, you'll see that I have thousands of these I have thousands of photos here and videos. It's hard for you to see how many there are, but there's so many that are here. And what I literally done is visited with clients and collected little 1-minute videos. So Dr. Adrian Laura, who is a Harvard-trained doctor, so we serve doctors and real estate agents for 2 of our agencies. We have a lot of agencies that we're a part of. We take a little piece. We went into her office and she did some PRP on my head here to grow some of my hair. And she was going to do some liposuction because she saw that I need some of this, right? And we recorded it. My friend came in and recorded it with this cell phone, and then we cut them up into different pieces. Or I'll be on the beach. I was on the beach a few days ago with Jake Bjorsteth, and we recorded some videos with a decent microphone, like a 30-minute podcast on the beach, and then that goes to our VAs. They chop it up into different pieces, and then they're able to post it in all different sorts of places. And I found that was the fastest way to generate leads. So I see with agencies, their biggest issue, they say, is how do I generate leads? Because I'm not at conferences anymore. Easy. You interview your clients. Oh, but I don't want to collect a testimonial. They're not going to want to tell me that. I said, no. You just ask them. You make it about them. You're not trying to get a testimonial out of them. So that's the one thing I've discovered as an agency owner. It doesn't mean you have to be a pro videographer. I don't understand like what Parker Walbeck and these other people do, but you can see on my phone, I'm literally replying to people in video. I'm replying In Messenger, in LinkedIn, I'm replying with video. Twitter, I'm making videos, right? All this stuff here, I'm making little videos, little 15-second videos. So I would ask you, Tom, but that's the key. As an agency owner, you've got to make a ton of videos. And oh, look, you see the video studio. I can put stuff on the TV here. You don't even have to have a fancy setup like this. But the key as an agency owner in a post-COVID era thing is even though, like, look at these microphones, you can see, like here, right? Just out of view here, is you've got to interview clients. You've got to interview other experts. You've got to interview people who have expertise. Just like what you're doing right now, Thomas, right? Yeah, that's the biggest change. And that has allowed us to start a 7-figure agency serving chiropractors. We went from nothing to 80 chiropractors just from making videos about what chiropractors do, right? Why did you become a chiropractor? Tell us, what is an adjustment? What is the atlas? Well, how do you get rid of headaches? What should how much water should you drink? What if I wake up sore? I'm an athlete, I want to hit the golf ball further. All these little 1-minute videos, tons and tons and tons of 1-minute videos. We make 1-minute videos of the chiropractor, of them with their patients doing the adjustment, get the crack sound, the microphone, and put that on their Google My Business, turn that into a course. We take all these videos, then we turn it into these courses. You guys know how, like Fiverr or Upwork or onlinejobs.ph, we literally take a 1-hour video or a bunch of little 1-minute videos, and we have a designer come in, and for a few $100s, they can make a course. Then we'll publish this. Now, this is called the master presentation, but we can relabel this. Our friend who's an agency, Chris Kyocho, called Offland Media. He serves pilots and private aviation. So then we took the same thing, and we called it the digital flight plan. That's what we called it, right? Which is our whole process of how we operate, 6 phases, right? How we build the funnels and all this kind of stuff, right? Then we take it for restaurants, and we call it the digital marketing cookbook. Then we take the same thing and then put a picture of a doctor on it. Then we'll say your prescription for digital marketing, right? And we put pictures of other doctors on it. Then we take content that we put inside, these books, right? Well, I'm in this book, right? You can see examples of ads that I made inside this book. And we share that. So we're literally just creating, the last year, we've been creating a ton of training, and that has given us lots and lots and lots of, more leads than we know what to do with, so we're just giving them out to our other agency friends.
So basically what we were doing before, let's say, was blogging, and to prove expertise. Now it can be done in video, and what you're saying is just do it, start small, and you will build a big asset base, basically, by starting small.
And you could literally start with just your cell phone. I've taught a bunch of Zoom webinars, walking around in the park outside here, just on my cell phone like this, as I'm talking. And then with Zoom, I can do share screen, and then I'm showing people how I'm managing my Facebook, my Twitter, my Google My Business. It's really awesome. I've not seen really anybody do that, right? You're an agency owner and you want to show a client, how do you log into the Google My Business and check out the insights to see how many phone calls you get, how many website visits, or log into your SEMrush and you want to be able to see your rankings, or log into your Google Ads. You can do that right here on the phone, do a Zoom call and show people how to do it, record the call, post it out there. Your clients, 80% of them are watching on their cell phone. So when you record on your cell phone, it's actually better than in a format like this.
Yeah, man. You just vertical, right? So.
Yeah, video. 80% of your clients' emails are opened on the phone.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So your take is just to, for agency owners out there, to prepare more video and start with just asking their clients about them and make more content. And it will be, you believe that actually it will be just unlocking something, because what they will not do for blogging, they could do it for video just so quickly. I think what you speak is true, that there is like this kind of imaginary barrier. People say, oh, I'm not a video person. I'm not like an actor. I don't show well on camera, but everybody does this every day.
You talking to clients over Zoom, right? How many Zoom calls have you had in the last week or month, right? A lot.
You don't count.
So just even the CEO of Zoom says, I've had too many, I'm tired of Zoom, right? But the key is, you guys know as agency owners, is They need to see your face. And the reason why they buy from you is because they trust you as a person, so they want to see your face. They're like, I don't want to show my face. I'd rather show some attractive female and have them talk to that. But I understand that clients do business. Clients don't do business. So you're an agency owner, you're watching or listening. Clients don't do business with you because you're really good at PPC. They're not evaluating how good you build websites or whatever it is that you do, how well you run Google ads or Instagram ads. They don't know. They're just trusting you. So you have to be able to show who you are. And they're not hiring you because you're a Hollywood movie star. You're some handsome, Tom Cruise, whatever sort of person. They're hiring you because they feel like they can trust you. And when they see you with other people that are in the same category, so we have a lot of real estate agents in one of our agencies. So they see me with Tom Ferry. They see me with other real estate agents. They see real estate agents interviewing me, and we're talking all about real estate this. And yesterday we recorded a 90-minute podcast for real estate agents on what you need to do in your Google My Business. They really just want to see that, right? And I look at most of your agency websites out there, and you haven't updated it in a long time because the cobbler's son has no shoes. Oh, we're so busy working on the clients, we've not worked on our own stuff. Well, go to your website, pretend that you are in your whatever your category is. Maybe your category is veterinarians, your category is landscaping, your category is Italian restaurants, whatever your category is. Do you have lots of little video interviews of you interviewing these other people? If you don't, that's the number one thing to focus on right now. If you want to get more clients, if you want to be better known, if you want to get exposure, if you want to get leads.
I see. And this is definitely, I think, what people should work on for leads. But if we think about how the business has evolved, because for it looks like you are pretty capable of working like remotely and with virtual assistants, etc. But I think over the past year, it was not like such an easy switch for everybody to move to this kind of new mode, hybrid mode, etc. And also coordinating this with the reality on the client side. So might have been kind of a struggle for some agency owner and some clients as well.
Yeah, most agency owners, it's just them. So they're not actually an agency owner, they're just a freelancer. Thomas, how many people I meet and they say they're the CEO of this agency. And I say, how many people do you have? Just me. You're not a CEO, right? But you do need a team. And a lot of the agency owners, they come to me and they say, I'm overwhelmed. I have so many things to do. I'm trying to get leads. I'm trying to take care of this client. They call me all the time. And now I have 3 or 4 clients all doing completely different things. So I'm trying to manage them all myself. I don't know how to hire other people. I don't have time for this, but I'm not making more money, so I can't hire these other people. So I'm afraid of spending all this money to do video or to hire a VA to do stuff for me. So I'm stuck here. And I'll say, okay, go to onlinejobs.ph. Do you know what the average salary is of someone in the Philippines who's working full time, doing things like video editing, website building, setting up pixels, optimizing ads, doing graphics? What does a VA in the Philippines cost? $380 US. So you figure out what that is in euros or pounds or whatnot, right? Let's just say you pay them a little more. Let's say you pay almost double. So you pay $600 for someone working for you full time, 40 hours a week. There's so much you can have done, and there's so many people. My friend John Jonas owns onlinejobs.ph, so full disclosure, he's a friend of mine for many years. And he's got something called the One VA Away Challenge, which is to get people to hire their first VA. And I can't tell you how many people, hundreds of people have come through our program and they've hired their first VA. Man, think about what you do. So I imagine a lot of what you do is a repeatable process. Like this is what we do. So we set up our digital plumbing, which is the tracking, and set them up inside Basecamp, or you can use Monday or Slack or whatever it is. And we collect content and we run ads and we send them a report every week. Those are all repetitive things that we just have VAs do. Why are you doing this, right? So hire a few VAs. The first one, because people are like, oh, what VA should I hire first? Video editing VA. Number 2 is you hire an operations VA. Basically send out reports to onboard clients, to do the regular sorts of, but you have to have it documented. If you don't have it documented, it doesn't matter, right? Then you hire an account manager, someone who's there to check in and ask them how they're doing. Maybe that's someone, maybe that's not a Filipino. Maybe that's a friend of yours who has good client skills. We consider those waiters, and the VAs are cooks in the kitchen, right? The cooks in the kitchen chopping vegetables, cooking meat. The waiters, oh, Thomas, let me tell you about today's soup of the day. Oh, can I refill your water? What would you like to drink, right? Waiter, cook. And now you're able to own the restaurant without having to cook all the food yourself and then go between all the tables and talk to every single customer, right? That's just not going to work when you have a restaurant. If you're trying to have a restaurant, if you say you have a restaurant, meaning you have an agency, and you're trying to cook all the food and you're trying to make sure the clients are happy, but then you burn the food because you're not paying attention, how can you bounce back and forth between the front where all the customers are and then in the back in the kitchen? What happens when you're trying to do both of those at the same time?
Yeah. I love the analogy. Really, really creative, very fun to see how you came up with this. Well, that does make sense, definitely. But if specifically if we speak about, like, let's say a small studio or like a one-person centric agency, but when it comes to an agency maybe which had the key on the previous, let's say, previous COVID, which was between 30, 50 people doing okay. Well, obviously they were doing okay in a reality that now has changed and evolved. So what would be your word to them today?
So if anything, you guys have made the adaptation to be able to move your processes online. A lot of my friends, they shut down their agencies, which were downtown, because they loved having the agency downtown and the big skyscraper, you see the big view, but clients aren't visiting, so why are you spending so much money? I have some friends that were paying $50,000 a month for some very nice real estate, nice offices, the conference room, the clients are not coming in, and they're now able to pay their people less. I know this doesn't sound very good, but you know why the agencies are able to pay their people less is because now they can get labor from anywhere instead of people that are only in the office, that come into the office and then have to drive 45 minutes into downtown and park and take the elevator. And either way, you can attract a wider range of talent, but then if you've got good systems that worked in a physical environment, have you adapted them into virtual? So if you've got the 30 or 40 people, that means you probably have good systems. But then how do you extend that to people who you aren't seeing physically? So the way that you check in, instead of in a physical meeting, so we use things like a Discord or maybe Slack, and we use Basecamp. We integrate Basecamp with TimeCamp, which is how we track our time for VAs, so we can see that they're working. Because if they're not coming into the office, we need to know that we have something we call our start of day and end of day reporting, so they have to submit a report. We have a meeting here in the beginning, so that way the VAs have to show up. Some people call that bed checks in the United States to make sure they're actually working. Because a lot of people say they're working from home, but they're not actually working. Right? And you know that. Once you get beyond 10 or 20 people, you know that you have to put those things in place. It's not that you don't trust your people. You just know at home there's the dog and there's food and there's TV and there's the kids. There's distractions. So you have to get them to be able to work and focus. Like maybe one room in the house. You have everybody, they have their one room in the house. That's the office. The kids can't come in. They close the door. That way they're able to work. So a lot of COVID has been having, Zoom calls from the kitchen, or having calls. It's a lot of calls and a lot of communication, but then it's back to video again, right? So COVID has forced people on the video. That's the big change. And that means your team has to be coordinating via video. I love Discord because we can have video chats, and you can do the same thing in Slack or Skype or the other Zoom, these other sorts of tools. But it's everyone getting on the video. And then when we're making more video, if you agree, everything's moving to video, and we're making more video, then the next step is we need video editors to edit the videos, especially because we record every single client call, and the clients know that. And we ask their permission. Hey, is it okay if we record all these calls? And some of them will say, wow, it was really cool what we covered there. We would love to turn that into a blog post. Is that okay? And they say, yes, of course. And then when we hit major milestones, like, wow, it's so awesome. Dr. Laura, you just did $20,000 in your first week as a cosmetic surgeon. How do you feel about that? Oh, this is really good. I love working with you guys and all. Oh, thank you so much, Dr. Laura. Mind if we take what you just said and turn that into our, that we promote that. We want to promote your success. Like, oh, yeah, sure. We'd love to do that. But if you're not recording those videos of the client meetings, then you can't go back. 'Cause, like, how many times have you had a great client call and you're like, oh, wow, they said something really good. I wish I could use that. You've lost it. So we have a whole process on how we have meetings, a whole process on how we document things. We even have a whole process on how we build courses. So we have a course on building courses. That's how serious we are about documenting.
That sounds interesting. Course about creating courses, like an inception. So we're going within.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's a course on courses. So we say, of course, you want to build a course in our course builder course. And everything that we teach in the course, which is step-by-step as a checklist, recipe, cookbook, is something we execute as a package. So what we do is we take how we do something. How do we film a webinar? How we work with clients and train people and VAs, right? How we do our content strategy, for example, right? We document every one of these things here. You can see there's these checklists. See, here's a senior VA, and here's how to perform a site audit. Oh, look, all these different steps, right? If any of you guys want any of this, just message me. I'll give it to you. Or message Stephanie at BlitzMetrics.com. She'll give it to you. Otherwise, I'll get too many messages. And the beauty is when you put these courses out there, and they're detailed, and these things are, well, this one's 1,200 pages, right? What do you think, Thomas, when someone wants to learn, how do we train up a video editor? How do we build a topic wheel? How do we do these different, what do you think happens when a potential client sees that we have, here's how we optimize step by step? What do you think when the client sees all these different steps, all these videos, what then do they think?
Well, they think they should call you, if probably, right?
Yeah. So then that leads to a discussion where they want us to execute that particular checklist, and that's a great way to to get clients. If you try to hop on the phone with someone right away and say, hey, let's talk about, how we can do all these services for you, they have no context. They don't know what you do. They don't know that you have a process. But when they already know that here's your checklist process, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then it's easy for them to be able to buy. And that's the key difference. So a lot of people don't understand that part. Is your courses are packages, and your packages are courses. You want to sell more with your agency, you want more people on a retainer, you have to build courses. Everything that's a course is a package, and vice versa.
Makes sense. So it's a bit about like another topic we're discussing about, like how consulting is evolving to more courses and workshops and things like this. And I see definitely that you're passionate about this. You told me before we were talking before that you are definitely looking forward to speak about this.
Yes. I think that the best way for you to grow your personal brand, to grow your agency, to get more clients that are on retainer, is to teach. And the best way to teach is you interview existing clients. That way you don't have to do anything except ask them about, where they were before, about their story, about why they became a chiropractor, about why they became, an e-commerce business owner. And when you document their story, you can then turn that into a book. So we have other clients where we've taken a 1-hour webinar that's organized by 10 points of 5 minutes each, and then we turn it into a book. And then we promote the book, and the book is done well, right? And we publish it on freeebooks.net, which is domain rank 73. And that way it makes everybody look good. So when you put your knowledge out there, then you're building relationships. And you may see that yesterday I posted on Facebook saying, hey, I want to start interviewing other people for the Coach You podcast. There's a friend of mine, Colin Wayne Ehrman, he's doing $300,000 a day, Redline Steel, right? Doing very successful in e-commerce. And he said, you need to do a podcast. Well, and I said, what should we call it? And he said, you should call it Coach You. See, get it? A lot of people say that. And I thought, okay, so who should be on my podcast? And so I put a note out there on Facebook, and I think 80 people replied saying, I want to be on your podcast. I want to be on your podcast. I'm like, great. Let's line up a bunch of slots, 30 minutes, record all these podcasts. Then we have a team of VAs that are turning into books. Then, we publish the books and publish the videos and publish it on social media, collect leads, and then we give these to our agencies.
Okay. Sounds interesting. I see you speak a lot about video and books, which is maybe like a bit contradictory, because video is like something from today, from maybe even the future will be even more important. And when you think about books, I don't think books are finished over. That's not my point. But when we think about teaching nowadays with internet, there is like many platforms for selling courses. So What about creating, courses, online courses?
So we use all of the major platforms. So there's things like, Kajabi, which is most of the solopreneurs are using that for agencies. You have Thinkific, you have Coursera, you have, my favorite is using WordPress with LearnDash, Infusionsoft, and Memberium tied together. That way we have control, we host it, we have the email addresses, we're able to control how many instructors there are and what we charge. And just, it's like having something on WordPress.com versus WordPress.org. There's so many different course platforms. Every day, people will send me a note saying, hey, Dennis, check out this course platform. Did you know that, BuddyBoss has one? Did you know that Lightspeed has interactive video course? I'm like, yeah, all of these guys. But the point is, they all require the same input, which is video from you. So if you have a 1 minute or a 1 hour video that's chopped into 10 segments of 5 minutes each, or maybe it's 30 segments of 2 minutes each, right? You have your bullet points, you turn them into videos. You can then take those and you can upload them into any one of these other platforms. And the thing with the book, it's not like, should I make a book or video? I can take my video, transcribe it through Descript, which is what we use. You can use Auto.ai or have a VA do it on Upwork or Fancy Hands or OnlineJobs.ph or Fiverr, right? We have a course on Fiverr on how to do this. But they chop it up and they turn it into a book. And then you can upload to Amazon and say, now I have a book available for sale on Amazon. So that 1 hour video can turn into a course that you upload at any of your favorite platforms. It can turn into a book that you publish and you print copies of. I love to print copies of these books that we produce. You can call it a book, you can call it a guide, you can call it a pamphlet. But the key is, let me ask you, Thomas, right? If I just said, hey, I'm really good at Facebook ads. Okay, who's this random Asian guy saying he's really good at Facebook ads? Or you see that I have this, and for some reason you can't see me, but I'm holding up this book, and this book is the ultimate guide to Facebook ads, which is my 1 hour video, but turned into a book. Which one has more credibility?
Well, the book is a tangible thing, definitely. And you have a publication. Publication are well regarded. I come from a scientific background, and without publications, there is no proof of your work. So it's this is how it is. So I understand too the point, and we're speaking about agencies and people who have had clients, etc. But let's say another scenario: somebody's starting out and want to provide creative services, or let's say web design services or Facebook ad services, starting this year, starting in 2021. So, what should you do? First thing, make videos about it already.
First off, congratulations, because there's no better time to start a digital marketing agency than right now. It's not too late. The COVID situation has increased the need for digital, but I would ask you to choose, do you want to do a vertical or a horizontal play, right? So let me explain. A vertical play is you choose one niche, and this is my favorite way to do this. You choose chiropractor, you choose restaurant, you choose plumber, you choose someone who's on a local category where if you can service one client, maybe it's a friend of yours, maybe it's your dad, maybe it's somebody, right? You need to get that one client. As a good example, that's what we call lighthouse. Once you've done that client, it's documented step by step. Then you can get another 50 clients, right? So let's say you do a real estate agent and you've done it for 1 or 2 real estate agents. Let me ask you, Thomas, what's more effort? Let me ask you guys in the audience, what's more effort? Having 50 real estate clients that you do the exact same package for, or let's say 10 clients that are completely random, all doing something different. What's more effort, 50 clients or 10 clients?
Well, we know the answer. Obviously, if you focus in one vertical, you apply your same expertise, it's easier.
Yeah, so the biggest mistake we see of people who are starting their agency, because they need clients, like, oh, here's my friend, and here's this other person referred somebody, and pretty soon they have what we call a dog's breakfast. So they have 7 or 8 clients, they're all doing something different, and then they can't scale from there. So to avoid that problem in the beginning, you have to start with one client, and it's really hard because you're like, oh wow, but here's a plumber, and here's a dermatologist, and here's a friend who's selling bags online, and here's this other person who has a great startup idea for a social network for dogs. Let me take them as a client. So the key is you even though you're like, oh yes, I need more clients and I need to be able to pay rent and all this, I'm going to say yes to everything. That's the easiest way to disaster. So you have to really start with one. Oh, no, okay, I'll start with two. I'm going to do, e-commerce and I'm going to do real estate agents. Try to chase rabbits, catch none. Chase 2 rabbits, catch none, right? You start with one.
Nice. I like that. Start with one. Just definitely makes the point. Finding your niche and sticking to it as long as you can grow within it, and then develop your processes and make it profitable, and then you can eventually expand to other verticals, right?
The same thing. So if your client is selling a particular product and there's only one company that's selling that particular product, then you're a consultant, not an agency. You need to pick something that's why we like local service businesses, because once you do, one massage therapist, then you can do 100 massage therapists, right? So choose something where you can do it all, where there's 100 people that you can apply the same package to. So that's what we call the vertical strategy, the niche strategy you mentioned, Thomas. The other side is a horizontal strategy where you do just video editing, or you do, PPC, or you do SEO, or you just build websites. That strategy is very hard to do nowadays, because if you're building websites and that's your thing and you say that's your package, when you build a website for a chiropractor versus a real estate agent versus someone selling medical marijuana, those are all completely different areas that require different levels of expertise in that area. That's independent of whether you can build something in WordPress or use ClickFunnels or build chatbots or whatever you might be. So the horizontal strategy is actually a technology and a software strategy that only works at scale. If you're new, you do not want to do a horizontal strategy unless you just want to be a freelancer. But if you want to start an agency, you have to choose a niche, a business niche, not a tools niche, which is PPC or landing pages or video editing. Or I know a lot of friends who are video editors and they want to start an agency, and they have all these different random clients, and they say, yeah, I'm really good at video, but the clients are in different verticals. They can't go beyond being a freelancer. If you want to be a freelancer, then do just the one skill.
Okay, right, that does make sense. Definitely. So being vertical, you hire for what you cannot do, but at least and you can optimize processes because you can anticipate the needs of your clients, because they will basically need the same or similar services. Well, very, very nice to hear. It sounds definitely interesting, and I guess you have a lot more to say, and we could cover and speak over and over again about this. But I think our time will be up soon, because you told me you have a meeting, right? And so, any ending, any recommendation to go further for people watching?
First thing to do is choose one thing that you want to do. So in our discussion today, there's going to be something that resonated with you. Maybe you want to hire your first VA. Maybe you want to start learning how to use video. Maybe you want to start a podcast or write your book or course or whatever. But whatever it is, just choose that one thing, because the worst thing you could do is say, yeah, that was interesting. Thomas and Dennis had this discussion about agencies in the post-COVID era, whether there's a new agency, a growing agency, or, here's what we need to do. And then you move on to the next piece and you didn't do anything. But the best training, if you do nothing about it, it's worth zero. You just wasted all this time. So do one of these things. And if you're not sure which of these things to do, I think the best thing is you pick up your phone and you make a 1-minute video. Here, I've got the phone, I put it on video. You can see the back of our studio here, right? You can see it reflecting back here, right? And I'll say, like this, Thomas, it's so awesome being with you, AdWorld Masters. See, I can't even talk properly. On how you can build agencies, how you can use video, and how you can scale in a post-COVID era, because you are making video and sharing it, and you're cutting it up into pieces so people can see it on social media, even if they're not there live with you. What do you say, Thomas?
Sounds exciting, sounds interesting. This is what I've heard and what we practice.
And that's Thomas, who's the CEO of AdWorld Masters, my friend. There, I just made a 30-second video. I'm going to post that on my Instagram and Facebook and Twitter.
Perfect.
Do that.
That's it.
It takes guts. Takes courage to do that. If you can just do that with friends without being annoying. That's going to grow your agency.
Perfect. That's a nice conclusion, I think. Well, Dennis, it was a pleasure and very nice to having you today. Very energetic talk. I really thank you for your time, and maybe we see you someday.
Yes, Thomas, I'm excited. And you guys, I want to see you guys grow your agency. Thank you so much, Thomas. If you're not following AdWorld Masters, you know where to be.
Thanks. See you. Take care.